Good now. Hello and welcome to my channel, Close to the Edge. My name is Pat, where we talk about all things prog rock, classic rock, heavy rock, and maybe, Kevin,
a stick of rock.
Stick around, you never know. I have a good motley crew of guests here today. I have Steve there from A is for Malice, B is for Bob, and C is for whatever you have in yourself in Chicago. I have Mick Wall down here on the right-hand side. I have Paul Bolger. Two lads are in the band.
And we're playing soon. We're playing a gig soon.
And playing a gig soon. Two of them are in a band.
I have to plug it.
Yeah, they're in a band. Steve, go and check it out. Steve, while I'm talking about this, on fourtowns.com, you'll see it. It's up on YouTube as well. The lads have an album.
What's the name of it?
Yeah, and they do ship. I think he shipped to the States, do you?
Yeah,
We do. Ship anywhere.
And of course, we have Kevin and my good self.
That's it, Pat. That's the crew.
And we have six
Fucking
albums
nice.
here, and I'm going to name out the albums actually now, what we have. It's Assault Attack by the Michael Schenker Group, Sonic Temple by The Cult,
Yep.
Back in Black by AC/DC,
Mm-hmm.
Women and Children First by Van Halen, Mob Rules by Black Sabbath, and Earthshaker by
Y&T.
Y&T. All six
Great rock albums.
from the 1980s, hard rock albums. They're all brilliant albums. But
Yeah.
which ones are our favorite? We're not saying they're probably best.
Well, no, they're all great, aren't they?
They're all brilliant, but they'll be all marked from 12 to.
All right.
That's the way it is.
Just a bit of a laugh.
A bit of fun.
See what comes out.
See what come out first. And Steve is the first one to go up. And we're going to go 2, 2, and 2.
2, 2, and 2, right?
2, 2, and 2. So, Steve, what's your number 6?
My number 6 is Van Halen.
Okay, Steve.
I'm and it's not that I'm a Hagar era fan. I prefer David Lee Roth. Just this album, after the first two songs, it doesn't do much for me. And I think the record company and the A&R guy, they made the right call. The first two songs are the best songs. And the Cradle of Rock, and everybody wants them.
I like the track Fools on it, Steve. I think it's great.
Which ones?
Fools. I think it's the third track.
Well, yeah, that's the third song. Yeah, I don't know. I just it just never grabbed with me. I tried listening to it like 3 times this week. Just I prefer 1 and 2 and 1984. I'm not a fan of this or Fair Warning. So
Interesting.
Oh, that's interesting, Steve.
yeah.
Have you ever seen him play, Steve?
I've seen them live, yeah. Actually, Eddie's son, Wolfgang, his band Mammoth, he was a client of mine. I did all his apparel and everything.
Very good.
Yeah, I did all his t-shirts and stuff, promotional products. But then I hung it up last September, so it's been a little over a year now. I've been retired, so.
All right.
Yeah,
All right. Good for you.
good for you,
And
Steve.
then-
That's your number 6.
That's my number 6, and so do my number 5, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, my number 5 and 4 I did not own, but I've ordered them. I'm waiting for Amazon to deliver them. So, and that's saying a lot about 2 albums that I wasn't really familiar with. That I'm putting it higher than that. But number 5 for me is going to be the Michael Schenker Group album. Assault Attack. For
Assault
me,
Graham Bonnet is on that, isn't he?
Yeah.
He is.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's Graham Bonnet. And I think maybe that's why I never gave that album a shot, because for me, Graham Bonnet, he was like a replacement guy. He replaced, I mean, we all know he replaced Dio in Rainbow. And for me, that was a big drop off. I mean, yeah, it's pretty hard to follow up Ronnie James Dio. I mean, that's a tall order. But
Good job, though.
yeah. The song that I really like is Rescue Me. That to me, it sounds like a UFO song. If Phil Mogg was singing that would have fit on any UFO album. So I do own a number of other Schenker albums, and I own UFO's entire discography and all that. But first time I saw Schenker was '74. They opened up for, it was Kiss, UFO, and T-Rex. Yeah, that was a hell of a lineup in 1974 to see them then.
Amazing.
Brilliant.
So, yep.
Anyway, Steve, thanks for that.
Yep.
Thanks very much. Mick, you're number 6 and 5.
Okay, so I spent the last week or so streaming these. I don't own all of these albums, so I won't be holding them up, unfortunately.
Okay.
At number 6 for me is the Michael Schenker group's Assault Attack. Great album, as all 6 albums are. But for me, Graham Bonnet is trying too hard on the album, in my opinion. I think he oversins it. Fantastic singer, and I love him in Rainbow. And even later on in Alcatraz, actually, his band I thought were quite good as well, which introduced Yngwie Malmsteen into the States, really, like, you know. But I just felt on this, he's over singing a little bit, and I think the album is of its age, and I think there are other albums on the list that are timeless, and I think that album is not. It feels like the 80s to me. You know what I mean? So that's why that's at the bottom, but not it is the 80s, but some of the other albums are timeless. They don't sound like the 80s, they just sound like good rock albums.
That kind of dates.
You know what
Do
I
you
mean?
think it dates?
I think it's dated. Yeah, it feels a little dated to me. And while I love the next album that I'm going to mention, which is Y&T's Earthshaker, that'll be my 5. Again, I feel that it's of its time. Fantastic album and more straight ahead rock and roll than the Michael Schenker one, which is more appealing to me. And I love his voice.
Dave Manichetti.
Singer.
Oh,
Yes. What a singer. Unbelievable.
What a singer.
And to
what a
me,
guitar player.
yes, and a huge range on his voice, but isn't, like I mentioned, Graham Bonnet is trying too hard. He's not. Dave is not. You know what I mean? That's his natural voice. He doesn't sound pushed at all. But nevertheless, that hits 5 for me. So there's my first 2. Yeah.
Yeah. And Kevin and Paul saw him in Scotland
I'm
last
going to
year.
see him next week in London.
You're going to see him in London next week, aren't you?
We saw him twice, didn't we, Paul? Didn't we?
What?
Didn't we
We
see them
saw him in
twice?
Dublin. We saw him in Dublin and we saw him in Scotland, I think.
Yeah, that's right. And you're going to see him when?
London. Sorry, I've got a frog in my throat. On the 24th, 25th.
Yep.
Next time. Sorry, guys, I got to be rude and take a drink.
Oh, you're okay, by the way. Mike, thanks very much for that.
No bother.
Yeah, I'm going to see them in Islington in London next week.
Very good.
Yeah.
Oh, what's 6 and 5?
So my number 6 is the same as Mick. It's Assault Attack. I agree with Mick and everything he said. It's not my favorite Michael Schenker album. I don't really like Graham Bonnet on this album because it always felt a bit like they were trying to do a kind of, like Schenker's mad into Richie Blackmore, and it was like his Rainbow album. It's like he was trying to do a take, to me anyway. I know what you were saying. There's a couple of tracks on that sound a bit like UFO, and they always do. Great lineup, really well played, brilliantly sung. I never took to it. I like it, but I prefer, would you believe, the weaker singer. I prefer the other Michael Schenker albums. I don't know, they're better songs or something. I think Mick is right. I think it is a bit dated. And for me, after this, I have another couple of Schenker albums after this, and he got into the, Rock Will Never Die and hoo-ha-ha, and it all got a bit, and around that time I was getting bored with that. I think I was just thought that everything is chanty and shouty, and yeah, good look. It's grand, it's good, brilliant singer. Michael Schenker is absolutely in my top 3 guitar players. I fucking absolutely loved them. I used to be painting that logo on people's jackets around this town, trying to convince them to go and like Michael Schenker, but nobody heard of him. But yeah, it's a great album, but it's would be the number 6 for me.
Okay. And number 5, Paul?
Number 5 is Sonic Tempo. Brilliant album. I prefer Electric. I'm kind of putting this down to what would I play. This is the one that came out recently, is the reissue, the double one. Fantastic album. Absolutely brilliant. But I prefer the one previous. I actually think I even might even prefer the Love album before that. They were great. Great album. I saw them on this tour, actually. I have the CD in there with the ticket in the back, the usual carry on. There's not much I can say about it. I love the album, but it's not up with the 6 you chose. Is number 5. It's a good rock album. There's a lot of Zeppelin in it. There's a lot of the influences that I think they were starting to flounder on this a little bit. They were looking for themselves. They got it nailed on that Electric album. I think they had a great time, and then they tried to, step it up. Great album, but that's my number 5.
Okay, thanks very much for that, Paul. Kevin.
Right. My number 6
Same as
is
Steve, yeah.
Women and Children First. Great album, but there's other Van Halen albums I prefer to it. But I still love it. It's a great album. As you said over and over, and you're right, all 6 albums are brilliant.
But they're all brilliant, yeah.
Yeah, but I had to start somewhere. So for me,
especially when we heard that album first, we heard it.
I heard it from Paul. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
I was the first one to grab it. That's right, yeah.
You were the first one to get
Yeah, we
that,
couldn't
man.
believe it, but
Especially on that track, Fools.
I know, yeah.
Guitar.
Great. Well,
We heard that before Van Halen 1, didn't we?
we did, yeah. That was
We
the
did.
first one. You
Yeah,
bought it.
Yeah, we
We
did.
heard it. And number 5, Pat, is the Cult. Sonic Temple.
That's the same album that Paul showed.
It is, yeah. That's the 2019 double album. Brilliant album. I prefer Electric.
Yeah.
Big Love is as good as it, but I prefer Electric.
Yeah.
Electric to me is the best album. So it
That's
has
nice.
to go in there, number 5.
Released in 1989, that album.
89, yeah.
89, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, I saw them in the Point Depot in Dublin on that tour pad. It was brilliant.
Brilliant, yeah.
Great. So
There's a track on that, Sweet Soul Asylum, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's some track on that.
Sweet Soul Sister, no?
Because I can't read it on the cassette.
Yeah.
I-
You have it on cassette, do you?
I have it on cassette for my number 6. Thanks for that, Evan.
No worries, Pat.
And the reason why I have it on cassette, it sounded better than the bad production on the LP, the original LP.
Oh, the original LP was a single.
Single, all crammed in together. I think it sounded tinny.
Yeah, this 30th anniversary.
Where the cassette sounded much better.
And the 30th anniversary, they've expanded to 2 LPs. So obviously,
Yeah.
It didn't sound
more
better.
room to breathe.
But I think it's, Sweet Soul Sister, I think. I can't read that, Kevin. But I think this is a brilliant album anyway. I prefer this than
Electric.
Yeah.
Ah, right.
I think this is absolutely. It's the first album I heard by him.
Yeah.
So usually when you hear an album, the first you hear and you really like it.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah, that's right. It stays there.
Even though the other ones might be better. It just sticks.
Yeah,
Well, I don't know. For me, what I think with that one is this big, huge sound, kind of cinematic.
Yeah.
Whereas Electric is kind of AC/DC. It's just the balls to the wall rock and roll.
Oh, it's
And
just,
that one that they opened it up and they were
up
trying
to the
to.
floor from go to
Oh, yeah.
home.
Yeah.
Great album.
And my number 5 is the Michael Schenker album, Thought Attack. We saw it there. There you go. And I think this is a brilliant. And I have to disagree with both Paul and Mick on this. I think Bonnet is absolutely brilliant.
So do I, actually.
I think he's superb on it.
Yeah, he's great.
And this is my favourite album by him.
That's mine.
And I've only got into Michael Schenker recently because the 2 lads were into him since 1980.
Mm.
Mm.
I only picked this up a few weeks ago. I had never had Michael Schenker in my collection,
Yeah, there you go.
but I love this album. I'm after playing the shit out of this album.
Yeah, you really like it.
I really like it. I got a good copy of it on LP. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant album.
That's your
Oh,
number
it
5.
is. It is.
My number 5. I love it.
Mm.
I think it's actually, I go as far to saying, I said that to Kim, I think it's better than Down to Earth. There you go.
I don't know about that.
Oh, I think it's absolutely brilliant.
No.
Controversial.
'Cause see, I
fight you for it, Pat. I fight you for it.
I know Down to Earth since 1979, obviously. I know it too well. But this one is like a new album.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes you can actually, when
You're
you hear it,
enamored with it.
yeah, and you can actually overblow it.
Mm.
And then,
Yeah,
6
I
months
think
later-
it's Down to Earth's red-headed cousin, to be honest with you. I don't think it's,
That's what it feels like.
it's more of a pale imitation to me,
That's what it sounds like to me.
Good album. I think it's a great album, but I don't think it's of the quality of Down to Earth.
No.
Actually, I think the guitar work on that is just as good as Blackmore's, I think.
Mm.
I do. But anyway, it's all subjective anyway. Anyway, Steve, we're back to yourself now for number 4 and 3.
All right, number 4 is the other one that I didn't have, and that's Y&T.
You don't have that.
Nope, but I do have it on order. That first song, that guitar riff, to me, it's kind of similar. I hear a lot of Cat Scratch Fever in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you hear it too.
Hungry Rock, is it?
Yeah, so I would say that at least for me, the album's more backloaded. I like the second half of the album more. And it kind of, I know both Pat and Kevin are big Wishbone Ash fans. I'm not sure about Mick and Paul. Are you guys also big?
The period of it.
Yeah, that ending song, I Believe in You, it was like that last minute. To me, they reminded me a lot of Wishbone Ash. How sometimes Wishbone Ash just can't end a song.
Yeah.
Like forever, you think it's over, and then there's another 20 seconds. You're going to throw a drum roll or something. And but I was kind of surprised, but I do agree with what Mick said. It is of its time. You can hear it. It's got, what is that, 81, 82 written all over.
1981, I think, is it?
81, yeah.
81 there, checker, yeah.
So
Yeah.
never saw them live. I mean, they were just really kind of band that was they were not on my radar. I'm not sure why, but I know I didn't have any friends either that were into them. Maybe that's why.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
That's
But we
possible.
when we saw him, Seth and Kevin saw him in Glasgow there last year. The year before. It was last year, right?
Yeah.
It was. You both you went over.
October last year.
Yeah, they did a version of "I Believe in You," which I think would stand up to anything, just from your man's playing alone. When he stopped playing, there was
5
silence.
minutes. No.
3 minutes to 5 minutes. There was about a minute nearly. It was like being in a church or a mass or something. The thing, it was in an old church actually, but it was quiet. Nobody knew what to do. He was nearly crying himself up there playing it. He had tears in his eyes, the guy. And next thing, they went mental. He got a 5 minutes ovation or
He
something.
did, yeah. He tried to start another song and he couldn't.
They wouldn't let him. I've been to a lot of gigs now. Maybe we missed the classic gigs because we're, of a certain age, whatever. But that particular night, that was amazing.
I've got goosebumps thinking about it.
Yeah, it was. And I read a review that he did, and Fred saw him, another friend of ours, who's playing drums with us in this little band we have for a gig. He saw them in Southampton last year on that same tour we saw them with, and he said the exact same thing. He did the same in Southampton.
Yeah, brilliant. And his voice for a minute 72, his voice is still fantastic.
Perfect.
how many from the core lineup are still?
Only him. The other 3 poor guys are dead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they all died quite young. They all died like at around 50. Just illness. The bass player, I think, was his best mate, and he got some type of cancer or something. But they just went really quick. The 3 of them, sad.
That's sad. Steve, what's your number 3?
Number 3 is no fault of its own for being here. It's just because of the fact that it has been played to death. And I think you probably know what it's going to be. But it's AC/DC, Back in Black. If I'm a pretentious music critic, I would probably say this is the best one, because you wouldn't want your peers to say that you're nuts, that how can you not pick this to be number 1?
Yeah.
But like I say, I mean, it's a great album. I can't deny it. What that thing sold like 40 million copies, and there's not a bad song on it. But it's also an album I really never need to hear again, too. So that would be
Fair enough.
that would be my number 3.
Mick, you're 4 and 3.
Okay, number 4 for me is the Cults' Sonic Temple. Again, I do think it's a great album, but for me, Love is a more sophisticated album, and Electric is a more rock and roll album. And this is kind of somewhere in between. So it doesn't quite hit the heights of either of the other 2 for me. But still a really strong rock and roll album, and I do think it's holding up. Maybe it's less dated than the previous ones I mentioned for me. I think it's holding up a little bit better. So that's why it went a little bit above those. Third for me is Van Halen's Women and Children First. For me, it's still the classic Van Halen. Still sounds like the first couple of albums. They haven't quite gone into the pop band that they went on to be with when they became Van Hager. And even though I love 1984, it's a pop album compared to the earlier albums. You know what I mean? So this to me is still the classic Van Halen. So I think it's a really strong album, and particularly you mentioned the first 3 songs. In particular, those 3 songs are class. So yeah, you're my 2.
1984 is a pop album. That's only one pop track on it, really. Jump.
Yeah, it's still, they were heading in that. It's far more commercial than the other stuff. In fairness, it's a brilliant album. I played the shite out of it when it came out. You know what I mean? So I'm not knocking it that way. But that was the beginning of their. You have to remember that was the album that Eddie started going, I'm going to start playing synths. You know what I mean? And that's when they started to go in the. I don't mean to denigrate it by saying it's a pop album, but 1984 was the start of what became Van Hager. You know what I mean? To me,
I like that. Yeah, that's very good. I like that.
So, So to me, Women and Children First still. I think 1984 is a better album, but Women and Children First still sounds like classic Van Halen. The guitar
Thanks for
sound
that.
changed a little bit after that and all the rest of it.
How old were you guys when that came out?
I was 20. 20.
16.
Oh, sorry, when Women and Children First, 16.
16, yeah.
So what would that have made me? 11?
Yeah. Mick, when did you hear that, though? When did you first hear that?
Much later, because I would have heard 1984 first.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I would have heard
Yeah.
the first album, and
Yeah.
then Women and Children First would have come in much further down the line. You know what
I
I
can
mean?
see why that album has a bigger attraction to you guys because
Because it's the first one. It's the first one that hit us.
right.
Yeah.
I was 24 when Women and Children came out.
Right.
So I mean,
Yeah.
even the debut, I mean, I was 22 years old. So
Yeah.
Yeah, much
So,
older.
yeah, you were already kind of in that world a lot earlier than us.
right.
Yeah. That's because, you know, for around that time when we were all about 16, 17, even younger, when we discovered this stuff through Kevin's older brother and older friends and whatever, we were actually into music that was 10 years before us. We were listening to stuff from 68, Woodstock up, not really gone into the 60s. Hendrix would have been the earlies. I always liked Elvis, but early Elvis. But as far as rock music or pop music, we actually liked a lot of, me and Kevin particularly would have leaned into some punk stuff as well. We wouldn't have minded Halen and Stiff Little Fingers, but the classic rock, the Black Sabbath, the Zeppelins, we found out about all of them when they were gone or going.
Right.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
True, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for that, Mick. That's excellent. Paul, you're 4 and 3.
My number 4 is Women and Children First. Well, I don't know what I can add to what's been said. I remember buying it. I used to work in a burger, kind of an Irish version of Burger King. They had a little shit version of it here. And I remember I was earning like probably the equivalent of $20 or $30 a week at 16, spending my money on all this shit. And I came home and I played it for the lads. And I put on Fools and I ran over to your house. Remember, you have to hear this.
Yeah.
You know, and then it was like thrash metal 10 years or 5 years before it. You know, it's just brilliant. And what I always made me laugh about this album, what I like about them is the sense of humor that they had. I was probably too young to get some of the stuff, like that line he says in the song, no, leave him on, or I like the way the line runs up the back of the stocking. And because I draw for a living, I was going, what the fuck is a line doing, work up the back? So I was thinking there's a cat going up the back of his. I didn't know anything about lines up the back of stockings. What the fuck did I know? You know, I was 15. I tell you one thing, I found out of it fairly soon after, but that's another story.
But as well as that, Paul, I might add that there are, I've said this before on Patch Channel, there are some members of bands that are absolutely essentials to that band.
Yeah.
And when they're gone, the David Lee Roth's a case in point, isn't it?
Yeah. See, I don't actually mind some of the Sammy. I like Sammy Hagar as a singer. I think actually Dave Minichetti has a lot of his tone in it. What he did in Montrose is brilliant in that first album and all that. But when he went into Van Halen, they definitely made, like Mick said, a decision to push it in that more commercial way. And I didn't mind because some of the songs. But I have a couple of, I was telling actually with somebody today, we were just chatting about stuff and not to go off on a sidetrack, but with this album, what I do like though is there's a bit of a sense of humor. You can hear him talking to Ted Templeman or whoever it is, the engineer in the back, you know, they're like, oh, do it again, Dave, or whatever that line is. And that I love that riff at the end of the album. You know, when it's fading off, it goes into that. Eddie Van Halen never named that anything and never made a song out of it and never played it again.
Just a little piece of music.
And he did it deliberately because he knew it was good. And I read somewhere that he said, no, I'm just not going to do it with it. Fuck you, kind of thing. Because everybody was always saying, it was such a good riff, you know, when are you going to do something with it? But just as a little aside, it's funny. I remember when that came out, I went into art college in 82, I think it was. And we had a project where we had to be coming up with illustrations. And I remember taking a photograph of him, putting it on the photocopier and pulling it, you know, to see what would happen. And I pulled out, made him look like a ghost, so I drew it. And I was trying to get it into magazines, you know, to draw pictures in magazines. And I doing all these stupid caricatures of bands. And I went to Kerrang in London in 85, maybe 84. And they didn't want all the caricatures, but they saw that drawing and they took it. And that was it. And they said, oh, we'll be in touch. We'll show it to the editor when he's back. And a year or so went by. And Roth left Van Halen. And a year later, me and another friend were walking home from town where I picked up the magazine, opened up the magazine. There's a full page with my drawing on it. They didn't credit me. My name is not on it. and it's the 515. What's it called? The Van Hager album. 515, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And underneath my drawing, he was "Spirits Haven't Flown," and I was like, "You fucking," you know. So they didn't credit me, and I didn't get a bean. So Kerrang. But my drawings in the magazine, I swear. Now, my next one then is our friends Y&T. And I'm not going to say too much about that. I just think it's brilliant. I think, unfortunately, it suffers from a dodgy production. There's no bass, or it's very toppy and all that. But I love it because it's kind of, it's just good old hard rock and roll. Yeah, what can I say?
All killer, no filler.
Yeah, they went so cheesy after. I like Mean Streak and I like Black Tiger, but later on, then they got really silly. They tapped into all that hair metal and all that silly carry on. But this is fantastic. Just a brilliant rock album.
Yes, right.
So that's my.
All right, thanks for that, Paul. Kevin.
Yep.
Okay, number 4. Number 4 for me is Assault Attack. I'm with Pat. I rate this very highly. I think it's a brilliant album. Sorry, I knocked it forward.
Oh, you're all right.
I think it's a great album. I love Graham Bonnet singing on it. I think Ted McKenna, who'd come from the Rory Gallagher band.
That's right, brilliant drummer.
He's brought up in the mix, and when he's playing Rory Gallagher, yeah, he's a good drummer. But on this, he sounds phenomenal. And I think from start to finish, it's a brilliant album, and it's my favorite Schenker album. And I think it's the best album. So that'd be my number 4.
Number 3, Kevin.
And number 3 would be Y&T's Earthshaker. Brilliant album. Can't say much about it. Everyone's after saying what's to be said, but
It's a lovely copy, Japanese one.
yeah, it is. Yeah, Japanese obi. Yeah, but
It goes into the actual. The cover is part of the obi.
all right.
Yeah, very well done. Yeah.
Very well done.
Yeah, on the front.
Now, does that sound better than like the copy you have, Paul?
Mine is an original from, I guess, is it English or European? I don't know where my one's from.
No, Steve.
No.
It's a badly produced album. Not the way you get it. The only chance it might have of sounding good is just before I came on air, Pat bought a US promo white label copy, and that'll be interesting to see what that's like.
Right, very good.
This is a CD I ordered is remastered.
See, that could be better, Steve, than the records.
That might be better, yeah. That they could have done something to it. I heard that during that big fire in the Universal thing in LA, they lost a lot of original tapes, and their tapes were in there. So
Yeah, I know you were
so
saying.
they can't remix it or anything, which is a shame.
That's my number 3 anyway, Pat.
Okay. Right, my number 4 is AC/DC, Back in Black.
All right.
Brilliant album.
Yeah.
As we said, I think it's AC/DC's best album, in my opinion.
I wouldn't, but
I would. I think every track on it is brilliant.
oh yeah.
All killer, no filler.
No, I'd be more Let There Be Rock. I prefer Bon Scott.
Yeah, but you're more of an AC/DC fan than I am. So,
Oh, okay, yeah.
yeah, so I'm not a huge AC/DC fan. But this is an amazing rock album.
Yeah.
And it hasn't dated this one.
No.
And I have to say, Pat, it's the last great AC/DC album.
Yeah, I think so.
I think. I've heard Fly on the Wall and all those other ones. There's a couple of good tracks here and there, but that's the last complete.
Yeah, I think I bought the one with the cannon, on the front.
I have it. It's a couple of notches down from.
Yeah, that's the last AC/DC. I think I gave it away. That's the last AC/DC album I bought.
Yeah, same here. That's it.
My number 3, Women and Children First, have it on part of a box set.
Multi-format, Pat.
Yeah, multi-format. Well, actually, this is an amazing album. And I always hark back to when I heard it first. And is it my favourite album by Van Halen? It is my favourite album by Van Halen.
Is it?
Probably not the best, but it's my favourite.
First one for me.
Yeah, the first one.
I know the first one is the best, probably, but I love this album.
Yeah, great album. I love it as well.
Everybody wants some. What a track.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
What an amazing track.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Anyway, that's it. That's my number 3.
Okay.
Now, Steve.
All right, number two for me is Sonic Temple.
Oh, that's fine.
I'm assuming everybody else is kind of just going by the comments, same mindset as me. Did everybody kind of lose them after this album?
Yes, I have the ones after it, but that was more because I just liked them as a band.
Right.
But yes, I 100% agree.
That was Ceremony, wasn't it? The one after?
Yeah, I bought it, and
I have it too.
And I actually have the one they did recently. They're grand, but they're nothing like they were. They're not like that.
Yeah.
No, I think Steve is right. I think that's the last great cult album, Steve.
I saw them on the Ceremony tour, and that's the only time I've seen them. But Yeah, and I had no desire to grab anything after that. That's the same copy that both of you showed.
Yep. The
Yeah.
30th anniversary.
It's a solid album. Yeah, give me those first 3 albums of theirs, and that's all I need. You know, like some bands, all I need is the greatest hits. To me, just give me those.
Did you ever hear them before they went rock? When they
No,
were doing the goth kind of punk thing.
no.
They were originally called the Southern Death Cult.
Okay.
And then I have that down in my records down there, and I have the Death Cult, which they were touring last year. But they have an album called Dreamtime, which is from '84, I think, and it was before they turned up the guitars. And it's interesting. It's kind of cool, but that's really dated. That's really of its time. It's very much a kind of what's that? It's not even, you know, the Fields and the Nephilim and all those kind of bands, kind of gothy. I don't know what you call it, but it's not hard rock.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then obviously, you know what number 1 is. So,
Oh,
it was a hard transition for me to go from Ozzy, because I mean I was 14 years old when the first Black Sabbath album came out.
Yeah.
I played in a band. We played a lot of Black Sabbath of Ozzy era. When he left, I did not get Heaven and Hell and Mob Rules until probably around the year 2000.
Wow.
It was just I couldn't make the change. I did get Born Again because now they have Ian Gillan. You're talking my favorite singer with my favorite guitarist.
And we saw that. Did you see that tour?
I did not see that tour.
Yeah, we saw them in Dublin. Do you remember?
Yeah, that's all in Dublin. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I thought that was going to be a marriage made in heaven, but so
No,
anyway, I mean, back to that album. Yeah, it's a fantastic album.
Oh yeah.
I prefer Heaven and Hell a little more than that, but it was a good follow up. I mean, I loved Ronnie James Dio in Elf and Rainbow, but yeah, it's just a good album that took me time to. I'm not even going to say appreciate. It took me time to pull the trigger and buy it because I was such an Ozzy fan. So now I say to myself, you know, what was I doing? I was a stupid, you know, 20 something that I just couldn't.
Steve, you weren't happy that it wasn't Ozzy in there.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't forgive my favorite band for getting rid of their
Yes.
singer, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but there you go.
There you go.
Well,
Right, come on.
thanks for that, Steve. That's brilliant. Mick.
Okay, my number 2 is Black Sabbath's Mob Rules. I would have heard the track Mob Rules first as this on the soundtrack to an animated film called Heavy Metal. And I have that soundtrack here somewhere on vinyl. So that's where I heard that song first. And it's a slightly different edit of the song. So that was my first introduction to it. I don't think you can put Dio into a band and end up with a bad record. I really don't. You know, so for me, it's just a top class album. It's obvious then what the number 1 album is. These two could have flipped. It could have been one or the other. I think you're right in one sense, Steve. I don't need to hear Back in Black again, but I won't turn it off if it's on. You know what I mean? I think every song on it is a hit. It hasn't dated at all. And I think you could argue almost every other album on the list has in one way or another. But I don't think DC has. You know, people who don't like rock music know that album. You know what I mean? And they'll know 2 or 3 songs off that album, even if they've never heard the album. They'll know several songs off it. So I just think it's the best album of the bunch. Not necessarily my favorite album of the bunch, but definitely the best album of the bunch, in my opinion.
Okay,
So that's me.
Thank you very much, Mick. Paul.
AC/DC, number 2. Yeah, I can't say much more than what's been said. Brilliant. Loved it when it came out, when I heard it. Let There Be Rock probably would be my favorite album too from AC/DC, but this is fairly close behind. And the number 1 is, of course, Ronnie and the Lads. What can I say? Brilliant. Yeah. Fantastic. There's not I can say it's brilliant. I actually always like Ronnie Dio and Heaven and Hell. I probably do prefer Heaven and Hell in many ways. But you know, of this bunch, that's the best.
Great.
Okay. Paul, Kevin.
My number 2, AC/DC. Again, you could argue it's probably the best album here, but Black Sabbath would be my favorite band here, so there's no way I'm gonna not have.
Yeah.
Mob Rules at number 1.
Mob Rules again. Yeah.
Brilliant. And this copy in particular is a Japanese white label promo I bought many years ago. And I've never heard Mob Rules sound as good as this.
Oh, that sounds brilliant. Yeah.
It sounds amazing. I also have the CD of it, which we all probably do as well with the deluxe, the extra live stuff. But this album, never get fed up of it. I play it regularly. I like it probably a little bit more than Heaven and Hell.
What's your favorite track on that?
Or Falling Off the Edge of the World.
The riff on that.
It is absolutely an unbelievable song. And only Ronnie James Dio could do that. The way the
Sign
intro
of the
is
Southern Cross jumps out as well.
Sign of the
Sign of
Southern
the Southern
Yeah,
Cross.
brilliant.
No,
fabulous.
you know.
His singing is just amazing on this album. But so are the
Yeah.
rest of them. And even Vinny Appice's drums are great. I prefer Bill Ward to be there,
Obviously, yeah.
as in
Yeah.
on Heaven and Hell. But faultless albums from start to finish. Always loved it. Loved it when it came out.
You always did, Kev. Always.
Bought it when it came out. Myself and Paul and yourself, probably.
Yeah, we all bought it.
We all bought it.
Yeah.
Fabulous. So that would be easily number 1 for me.
I bought the single and all up, and what happened to it? They had the single Mob Rules.
Yeah.
There was a single.
Great album. So yeah, Mob Rules.
That's interesting. I was tough between the last two lads. I went with Mob Rules as number 2.
Okay.
And that's the one you were talking about.
That's the one, Pat, the deluxe, yeah.
And you have that one, Steve, yeah.
I don't have the deluxe now.
It's
Yeah.
great, Steve. It's got
Yeah.
extra tracks on it and a live concert. Fantastic.
Brilliant.
And they've done Heaven and Hell the same way.
Heaven and Hell, which I don't have, and I have to get another one. But I think what you just said about this, Falling Off the Edge of the World.
Ah, it's unbelievable.
I have Mob Rules on it actually. But,
Oh yeah, I like everything on it.
you know, but
Country Girl, everything. It's
I
brilliant.
prefer it to Heaven and Hell.
I'd probably do a little bit myself, yeah.
Yeah.
Great album.
Is the live album on that better than the Live Evil thing?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, much better, Paul. Work getting.
Because Live Evil is not great.
No,
that is
told it years ago.
Paul. Trust me on that.
That's brilliant.
That
And
is-
it's got the heavy metal track Mick was talking about before.
Oh yeah,
The
Yeah.
soundtrack, the heavy metal film.
yeah.
One of the Mob Rules, was it Mick?
Yeah, Mob Rules is on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a different editor or a different mix or something. It's good.
Yeah. That's on there as well.
Yeah.
And just out of interest, they also do Black Sabbath, Paranoid, and Master Reality on the same series. So they did 5 Sabbath albums, all worth getting on the
Right.
CD.
Right.
Yeah.
Just for the record.
My number 1, I have to order it on LP is Y&T Earthshaker.
You like it that much, Pat?
I think it's the best album in the 1980s in hard rock.
Very good.
I just think it's from start to finish.
Brilliant.
First time I heard it, Kevin,
Yeah, it's a brilliant album. I love it myself.
and that's why I wanted to get it on LP. I used to have it on it, but the sound is never great on it.
No.
But the sound on the CD is not bad.
Yeah.
It's not great either, but it's not
Yeah.
bad. But I think just is phenomenal album.
Yeah, brilliant.
Phenomenal.
Love the cover. The cover's great, Paul, isn't it? It really
Yeah, it's very, very good. Yeah, very clever.
No.
Steve, we have vinyl nights, and you know, mostly on Paul's or it could be in Kevin's or in my place. I remember, not the last time, a few times, you put on that album on LP.
Mm.
Usually when we play a side or a couple of tracks, no, what? There was both sides were put on.
Yeah, played the
That's
whole
right. Yeah.
Well, we couldn't take it off.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Just
Yeah,
couldn't
no,
take that album off.
Yeah, fabulous album.
You can't just play the first side of it. You have to play the second side.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
It's that good.
Did you say that was your favorite album of the 80s?
No, my favorite hard rock album of the 80s.
Of the 80s, okay.
Oh,
A big statement, isn't it, Steve?
Yeah.
yeah.
Made,
Of the
yeah.
80s,
Yeah,
that's my
there's
favorite.
some awfully good albums you're putting ahead of it.
There is a lot of good albums I'm putting up, but I just love it. I love it. Now, it wouldn't be ahead of any of my favorite prog albums from the 80s. That's a different story. That's a different story. There are not many prog albums of the 80s, so that's the whole idea. But I think that'll be up there with any of them, actually, to be honest with you. That is some album.
Yeah, great.
But I think all these albums are brilliant.
Yeah,
These 6 albums. Brilliant.
yeah.
I say you all know what won this, actually. Would you think so?
Mob Rules, I'd say.
Would you think so?
Or AC/DC.
Yeah.
Must be. Has to be a toss up between the two of those anyway.
I'm assuming,
Guessing, yes.
I say now.
I'm guessing Mob Rules, but
Yeah, I think so.
The awardee winner, in fairness.
Mm.
Yeah, well, of course, Mob Rules ran away with it.
Did it?
Yeah, 56.
Right.
And actually, you're right with the second one,
AC/DC.
Back in Black, with 46. Earthshaker, third.
There you
38.
go.
Third. Fourth. Who was fourth? 30 Women and Children first.
Right.
Fifth is Sonny Temple, and the last one, Assault
Michael
Attack.
Schenker. Okay. There you
18
go.
points. So that was an interesting exercise. I had a funny feeling Mob Rules would win it,
Yeah.
but I did honestly think that Paul and Kevin would rate Earthshaker higher.
No, never.
No,
gonna-
I couldn't, Pat, because of it.
Higher in the thing. I did think so, yeah.
No, it was starting to be a bit of a toss-up, but then there's just the AC/DC's thing is just that notch above. I don't know why, but it just has something. I think the thing with Earthshaker is great, but as a set of songs in the old days, the way you listen to an album, not one by one, I think the AC/DC thing is much more fluid and a better listen as an album. It's a stronger.
Y&T borrowed a little bit from
Yeah.
AC/DC.
It is.
They were touring around this time, Mick.
They were touring with them.
Listen to the riff in, I think it's Dirty Girl,
Mm.
and Let Me Put My Love Into You.
Yeah.
It's nearly the same riff.
Yeah.
You know?
There's definitely similarities. Yeah.
It's all hard rock, really, you know what I mean?
But
Yeah,
the
but they
thing
were
is-
supporting AC/DC as well.
Yeah.
So
But you know, there's another way to look at it too, just from the point of view of sounds. You can talk about sound, that goes in one box. You can talk about production and all that carry on. But just as songs, what would you listen to a lot? To be honest with you, I'd probably listen to Earthshaker even more than I listen to Mob Rules, but it doesn't make it better. Like when I put on Mob Rules, it's much more consistent. When I throw on, you know what I mean? And it's also a song thing. I just like the crack in Earthshaker. This sounds like a good.
yeah, exactly.
I
I also find Mob Rules more epic.
Yeah.
It's epic.
I'm sorry, Steve, just for your own benefit. I don't know if you know the way we use the word crack over here, but it's spelled CRAIC. It's an Irish word for fun. So I just like the fun in it.
And AC/DC has a combination of both. It has
Exactly.
crack in it, it has a bit of
Yeah, and there's a bit of.
It depends on the humor, and you can spell it the other way too.
You can actually, yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I was just looking at this, and out of the 6 albums, if you were to say, I think Sonic Temple is the Cult's best album, personally.
Oh, okay.
Assault Attack is MSG's best
I
album.
agree with that, yeah.
Mob Rules is not Black Sabbath's best album. Women and Children First, I think, is my favorite album, but it's not
I
their
think
best.
the
album.
first
The first
is-
album is their best. Earthshaker is Y&T's best.
It is.
And for me, Back in Black is
It's one of their
the best. For me, I'm just talking about it. And
Mm.
the way I did it, that's probably the way I did it, like, you know.
Yeah.
I like Highway to Hell just a skosh more than Back in
Yeah.
Black. But
I agree.
Yeah, Highway to Hell is a great
they're
album.
1A and 1B, you know.
And I love Power Age as well, Steve. And to
Yeah.
top them all off, Let There Be Rock is my favorite AC/DC album. Always has been.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
that's-
you're definitely a Bon Scott
I'm
guy.
not a big fan of it.
Yeah.
Love AC.
I love the live AC/DC album. It's brilliant
Oh, that's fantastic.
as well. You
If you
know.
want blood.
If you want
Yeah,
blood,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that's brilliant.
that's an excellent album. Yeah, they're good
Yeah.
live, you know what I mean?
yeah.
How did you come up with these 6? What was the reason you chose these 6 albums?
Yeah, Pat.
Just those 6, because I actually think those 6 are probably the best 6 hard rock albums
Of the 80s.
of the age. Now, obviously, I could just 1 or 2 more.
But what's interesting, Pat, is they're all around 1980, 81, except for Assault Attack.
Mm.
No,
Assault Attack
Sonic
80.
Temple is 89.
Oh, sorry, you're right. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, but
Yeah,
so you're actually covering the whole thing. Yeah, the 80s are a funny time for me. I kind of lost interest in what you call hard rock. It got a bit stupid, and I just got bored of it. And I probably got a bit older, and I just started listening to other stuff, finding other stuff. Like I did like the Guns N' Roses album when it came out. The first one it was a good crack. And it was okay, you know, it's a bit Aerosmithy and a bit noisy, and I liked Hannah Rocks and all that. But from about 84 to about 89, it wasn't really. It was the grungy guys that brought me back. But Sonny Temple was the one that made me listen. And Electric, that got my ear back listening to hard rock. After about 4 years, I'd still listen to Sabbath and Purple and all the 70s stuff and UFO. Never gave up on any of that. But there wasn't many new bands in my record collection down there. I think I bought the Rat album just out of curiosity, and I think I bought the EP. I since gave it to Steve in our band because I haven't listened to him since I bought him. There's not much. I don't have any Wasp albums or anything like that. Or whatever.
The first Wasp album, and I did enjoy that, to be honest with you.
And you were talking the other day, actually, Mick, that you like Motley Crue from that time, like the first
There's
album.
the first Motley Crue album is brilliant.
But
Shout
the
of
first
the
album
Devil
is
is
not
okay.
Isn't the first
Say
Motley
again?
Crue album? The first Motley Crue album was 1980 or 81, isn't it?
Yeah, that
I
Too
couldn't
Fast
tell
for
you that
Love. You know
I
that
don't
one?
know.
And it's like a demo. If they didn't look as stupid
sounds-
as they did, it's
It was
actually
self-produced. It was
Yeah.
self-produced and sounds like it.
yeah, but it's a
um,
kind of a punky album, you know, in a weird way.
Yeah,
Because
it is.
but that
There
whole
was a
kind of the
few
way the
decent
image,
bits, but it turned into pointy guitars and perms very quickly in the 80s.
yeah.
And I mean, I was a teenager, so I was listening to quite a
Yeah,
a
so
bit
you were
of
hopping onto it,
guitars
yeah,
and perms,
yeah.
like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But all of that is after aging so much now. There's very little I can go back into. There was one
Yeah.
band, Cinderella, and
Oh, Jesus.
I couldn't look at them, but one of their albums is really, really bluesy. So that sounds okay.
Mm.
But as soon as you see a video of them, you kind of go, I can't. I just
Lads,
can't.
I know,
Like,
yeah,
you know what I
it's
mean?
ridiculous,
Just
you know.
stop, like, you know.
Yeah.
And then you
I
had
heard-
Kingdom Clone. Do you remember them?
It is.
Yeah.
It is noticeable as well with the 80s that the early 80s, there were some amazing albums the first 4 or 5 years in the 80s.
Yeah, brilliant.
Like amazing, as good as happened in the 70s.
I mean,
Whitesnake,
absolutely. Like that's
Yeah.
where you always
Judas Priest, tons of albums.
tons of good rock albums, yeah. And
Yeah.
then something around 84, 85, in America, I think that hair metal thing took over. That's when I went away from it and I started listening to all this.
Yeah.
I started putting on hardcore stuff, Husker Du, and I was starting to listen to country music
Yeah.
and blues and going somewhere else completely. And, you know, it's just, maybe we just kind of grew up, you know?
Yeah, you were
I
right,
think
Mick. I was gonna say I
Um,
like Cinderella a lot too, but their look killed them because it put them in the same category as all those hair metal.
Yeah.
But they were
Yeah.
very bluesy. I mean, I liked the album Long Cold Winter. I
Yeah.
like the album Night Song. Those are both really solid albums, but their look did not serve them well.
But
If they
got-
came
they
out
got
dressed
cool.
like Guns N' Roses, they would have been a good hard blues rock band. But
If they
didn't.
just
They
wore
came out
t-shirts
dressed
and
like
jeans,
Tina
they would've
Turner.
been back.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you remember the Georgia Satellites when they came out the first time? They were,
Yeah.
it was like the Stones and Status Quo had a child and they were playing Skinner vibes. Fucking brilliant. 4 guys in the back of a truck in jeans just singing good old rock and roll. And if anything, that's the kind of rock music I started. And I even started listening to Bob Seger and people from the 70s because I got so bored with this fucking widdly waddly shite and all this fucking Aegis jumping around with the stupid hairdos and all this. And I thought, you know, good luck. And it's a funny thing, you know.
The image was as important to them as the music.
I think it was more important, but it was more important because MTV sold all the records.
Yeah.
And synthesizers
Yeah.
played a part as well. You have bands like Rush who discovered synthesizing enough down that way, and
Yeah.
Well, you
Yeah,
see, lads,
80s
you all
style.
grew up in the album age, right? Where DJs were discovering bands and playing them, and that goes back from the late 60s through to the mid to late 70s. It was radio driven and it was album driven.
Yeah.
The 80s was MTV driven.
It was a
And when
video.
it became MTV, the videos became hugely important.
Yeah.
And if you look at the MTV of the 80s, the biggest music on it was rock music.
That's huge.
But it was all hair metal. You know what I mean?
But
So
you only have
that
to look
was
at
the biggest thing on it. So
It's
everyone put their image to match that. Because
Yeah, well,
that's
they
what
all
was
wanted
going
to
to
sell
get
records.
their
Everyone-
videos on the thing, you know?
Even Slade came back and had a go.
oh god,
Yeah.
You know, and like it's mad to think of it. But the best way I always say it is like I love Whitesnake from 78 to 82 or 3.
Look what happened
And
to
if
him
you
in
look, you know, like the British Whitesnake, let's say.
Yeah,
So when
yeah,
you watch the lads up on the stage in Top of the Pops on BBC over here, you know, they're just like your uncle. Playing guitars, except for Coverdale. He looked like a rock star. But the rest of the lads looked like they just came home from work and picked up a guitar. And that was never going to sell, say, in America or in Asia or places like that, where it's a bit more commercial, let's call it, you know, that wider market. I think over here, then we were all disappointed that all the uncles with the with the mustaches, you know, weren't allowed to be famous. But it's still the best version of Whitesnake to me. It's not the most successful, but it's the best version.
Yeah, when John Calander took over Whitesnake, I mean, he completely changed their sound for them, and yeah, they became a very Americanized band. I'm like you, I prefer the early Whitesnake.
yeah.
More bluesy. So
Absolutely.
There's a very good book if you're interested, Steve. Bernie Marsden's biography is very well worth reading. It's short and to the point, but he tells.
I read a lot of rock biographies. So.
Yeah, but I wouldn't probably read as much of it, but that one caught me because I saw him in England there just before he died a few years ago, and or a year before he died. And actually, he wasn't well, but he was telling a couple of stories how Fool for Your Lovin', paid for his house 10 times over. And he was making jokes about all this. And but in the book, Coverdale, they're at a mixing desk in the studio, and Coverdale, it just wasn't happening. Whatever before, as they were switching, that old lineup was going away, and he was thinking about. He owed $1 million. Coverdale, he was $1 million in debt, and he said the only way I'm thinking of just bankrupting the whole thing. You might said, no, Dave, you gotta carry on. Bernie said to him, and he did without us.
Yeah, but you will notice their biggest hits from those first couple of albums, the couple of new Whitesnake albums, the American Whitesnake, if you like, were all hits from the older band.
The old stuff repackaged, yeah.
It was repackaged for the American market. You know what I mean? They were their big hits,
But they were brilliant songs. Here I Go Again, Fool for Your Lovin', fantastic songs.
Yeah, Barry Morrison wrote that. Here I Go Again.
Yeah.
And Fool for Your Lovin'.
Here I Go Again and Fool for Your Lovin' might have paid for his house, but not the versions he recorded.
No, he would have got exactly.
The versions Steve Vai recorded and the lads, and you know what I mean?
No, I know, but he got the royalties.
American version. Oh, he did, of course, yeah. No, he did, but I'm sure he thanks Coverdale for going off and doing that, but us as fans don't. You know what I mean?
No.
In a sense, he thanks him.
But it also, I think, says a lot about him, that guy Morrison, as a person. He was still friends with Coverdale until the end.
Yeah,
they were great mates,
Coverdale did a good eulogy of him after he died. Like he put up.
Yeah. David Coverdale would bring him out on stage when he played Britain and all this kind of stuff. But no, it's just I look at the end of the day, it's called the music business, So
yeah. He was an amazing guitar player. Though.
Did you enjoy that, lads? That was very interesting. And Steve, I just want to mention Steve has a channel. As I said, I'll put it in the link in the description, Steve, for you, okay?
Thank you, sir.
Yes, for Alice, B is for Bob, and C is for whatever you have in yourself. It could be anything.
Correct.
Whatever it is over there. And Steve does a couple of videos every week, which is a
Great channel.
Great channel. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I do as well. Yeah.
And Steve, thanks for coming on. Mick.
Thanks for the invite.
Thanks, Paul.
No bother.
Thanks for having us.
Even though you keep losing the emails. You keep losing the emails.
Yeah.
Kevin.
No worries.
As always, Kevin. And anyway, it's nice to be nice, Kevin.
Oh, cost nothing, Chuck.
Nice to be nice. And whatever you're doing, lads, stay safe. And from all the lads and myself,
Turn it up, play it loud.
Turn it up, play it loud. And whatever you're doing, lads, I always say it, lads, do it right.
That's it. See, lads.
See you now. Bye-bye.